So, welcome to another Guardians of Wilt-Shire video. I'm Dewi and this is my fourth hobby vlog. And this week, to change it up, I am going to be doing something slightly different. So, recently I've stripped this model, which is Arwen. And I also have the Arwen and Frodo model, which is beautiful. So I'm going to green stuff the gaps. I took it apart this morning and got like excess super glue out the way, and I just need to green stuff it and then put it on one of my wooden bases. And I want to get this model done. I haven't got High Elf Army. I've got Gilgalad and Elrond like everyone else has, but no High Elves of note. However, I do have, remove all the glass out of the way, 9 ring race on horse, including the beautiful, if I can get out of the way of the shadows, Witch King model. So the plan is for this week to base all of them, and that literally won't take too long, and get Arwen started, and maybe sorting up here, maybe base that hill and get that all flocked up so we can use that in reports. Apart from that, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do this week. I might start more black on the Warriors of Minas Tirith. They seem to take a while. And maybe do a little bit more scenery, but I want to try and get Arwen all up and sorted and ready, primed and all of that, because there's a lovely scenario in one of the battle games for Middle-earth, and it's the Ringwraiths chasing Arwen, so that is what I want to do at some point soon. So I have green stuffed all the gaps in Arwen, under the horse, around his neck. That was a little bit tricky in there. I used a green stuff milliput half and half mix, just it's a lot easier. And then I have some rubber tipped tools, and I use Vaseline because it evaporates and dries, and it makes it a lot easier to sculpt with. And then a bit of filing needed to be done, along with a metal sculpting tool. So she is done, and she needs to be stuck on the base and then primed. And then I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do for the rest of today. So you join me halfway through sorting out these models, and if you can see, they're Serpent riders. I have 7 at the moment. I'm looking to get some more because I've got a whole host of Haradrim cavalry, so it'd be nice to get 12. I know they're OOP and they're expensive, but it'd be nice to get 12 for a proper Serpent sting. And these are second hand, so there's been super glue to clear, some stripping. I've got some soaking in some fairy power spray right now, which I need to put this backpack in as well. In it goes. I just need to clean up the backpacks and some of the weapons just to get the excess super glue off, and then I'm going to start mounting these on bases. And so it's about 3 hours it's taken me to clip all of these, that is with a couple of breaks and whatever, to rid all of these of all the super glue, to finish scrubbing some of them, and to green stuff all the gaps in the horses, which has obviously taken a while. That's the majority. I've been doing it for about the last hour, but now they're all ready to be based. Put on the nice little bases. Try and do some deserty type terrain with all these Serpent riders, and then similar-ish to that, but hopefully of a better standard, and actually using dry brushing and stuff. But that's all for tonight, and I'm going to bed because I'm knackered. So after trimming up all my Serpent Riders, and on my desk of clutter, I've decided for my Serpent Riders I'm going to try and do some really nice bases. So I've put some slate on 7 of them for my 7 riders, and I'm going to polyfiller so that not all of it's sticking out, and then I'm going to put some sand on it, and then paint it up all desert-like. But the plan is to make them look the bases look really outstanding, because I'd quite like to for my Haradrim, as I have a lot of cavalry that needs to be done. Just take a bit of inspiration from James Collard and Brushstroke, who I talk to every now and then, and seeing his tutorials, and hopefully these will look really, really nice. And so you join me where I've just polyfillered a bit of the bases to get them a nice kind of undulating terrain. And there's some more. And hopefully I will cover all of this in sand, and the rocks will kind of stand out and make them pop, and I'm going to put some tufts on and bits and pieces and try and make the bases really stand out. This is all a complete experiment. I've never done one like this before, so I'm just intrigued to see where it will go. So it's the morning after, and the polyfiller has dried. I've also attached all the weapons to the Serpent Riders, and I've got Suladan in some Dettol. All I've done is just given the bases a quick sand down, and just picked off the extra stuff on the slate, because I want those nice crisp lines, and the texture the slate gives. So the rest, well, hopefully next, is putting them on the actual bases, and then I'm going to put sand down, so that it will look how I would like it to look, and then spray paint them. But I don't know how much I'm going to get this weekend. I've got quite a busy weekend as my girlfriend moves away, and I've got work and I play hockey, so we'll see how much I get done. So here you can see that I've mounted all my Serpent Riders on the bases, and I'd like to show you all the poses I've managed to achieve just with two sculpts, a little bit of bending, a little bit of weapons. So we'll start with this one here, and as you can see, he's the first sculpt, and I've just planted him with three feet on the ground, and I've made his spear point forwards rather than slightly across his body, and that's all I've done on him, so it looks like he's kind of lurching forward a bit. I'll take over to this one now, and this one looks like he's off on a bit of an angle, but it shows him kind of powering off the rock, and I've made his spear come more across his body. And then my final one, and I think my favourite Serpent Rider at the moment, is this guy. And I literally just planted the back feet, moved his spear out sideways a bit more, and then made him rear up. And I'm really happy with how that one's all come out, and the weight distribution on the base is still perfect. And the next one, this is the original pose, how it should be, and I do like this pose, I really do. But I've changed them around a bit. So for this one, I rotated his wrist and put one of the actual Serpent Rider swords that come with the pack in his hand, and that's the only modifications there. The horses themselves on this one are harder to distinguish, so I'm putting them on rocks changes the angle and how they seem to move. This next one, I bent the arm and put a spear in his hand, the spear that comes with him, and like lowered it slightly so that his spear's kind of going forward. And then the last one is on a big rock as well, and again moved his hand round, but not so low, and given him a sword as well. So he's kind of just about to slice through enemies. I'm really happy with how these come out, and I'm just going to put some sand on them before I spray them, because the sand's going to change colour anyway. It's going to be a nice dusty colour. So I'll show you once the sand's all sorted. So I'm back after putting the really fine sand on, and I think it looks pretty good so far. I'm just going to wait for that to dry and then spray them all up. And my plan is to get the stuff based, or at least on the wooden bases that I would like. And then I can paint what I wish. And these are some I'd really like to get sorted. I've got some other Serpent Guard, the foot models, in some Dettol. But I think the next thing is going to be painting Arwen, getting her all sorted. Because I really like the model, and I really want to do it some justice. So that's the plan for the next couple of days, I think. So now my desk has been transformed slightly. I've just got this thick paper that I found somewhere years and years ago. Got quite a lot of it, and as you can see, it's my Dettol paper. So as these 6 Serpent Guard plus Celadon foot mounted have been in the Dettol for about 2 days, I think. And I've just cleaned them all up. As you can probably tell from these vlogs, I do bits and pieces of everything all the time, unless I'm preparing for a tournament, which isn't very often. I just do bits and pieces because I have such a big collection that I just jump to and from, and I don't like doing blocks and blocks and blocks of the same thing, which is why I've given the Warriors of Minas Tirith a little break. I've done the 8 archers, but I've got obviously another 8 swordsmen and 8 swordsmen, shield and spear. So this is all of them cleaned up. There's going to be once they're dried, there's going to be a little bit that I just need to brush off, but it won't be much at all. And then I can mount them all, definitely Celadon mounted, on his base, which is up here at the moment. And I thought I'd give him a nice kind of platform, get him really rearing, commanding his forces. So this is what I've done so far, and I don't know how much more I'm going to get before this hobby vlog goes up. Probably a little bit more. You'll probably see them all sprayed, as that will take literally 2 seconds tomorrow morning. As I have work later today. But very nice sculpts. I've always loved the look of Serpent Guard. The backpacks just make it look so menacing. So yeah, it's just a case of getting all of these up and based. And you join me for the last bit of my hobby vlog this week. And it's just to show you that all the models are sprayed in their positions. So these are the models that I want to work on next. There's obviously Arwen, foot and mounted, and I've got the Frodo model. And then my Serpent Riders. And I thought, as I was doing the Serpent Riders and I thought I might as well strip some the 6 that I'd already had Serpent Guard. I've got another 6 in there. They're the metal ones, you can just see. For dismounts, so I might as well get them all sorted. So I started prepping up some bases, and that's Celadon's up there. And he's there. So that is all for my hobby vlog this week. I hope you've enjoyed it and could see like a bit of how I made some of the bases. Please comment, like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.